Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome, and I hope that you hit the subscribe button and the likes button. And if you're continuing to watch, please subscribe. And also, if you're returning, thank you so much for returning to watch another video, and I hope that you're subscribed as well to my channel. So I just wanted to come on and kind of talk about this case of this guy, Jesse McFadden, out of Oklahoma. It happened about 3 months ago. It was all over the news where he had taken the lives of his wife, their three children. I think they were his stepchildren, and the children's, one of the daughter's friends, two of the friends. So it was a total of 7 people that he took the lives of. And I believe the daughter, well, we'll start with Jesse first. Let's start with Jesse first and tell you a little bit about his history. Jesse was convicted felon. He was convicted of SAing a 15-year-old girl. So he was sentenced to 20 years in prison. And he spent 17 of those years, only 17. Even while in prison, he was getting, he did get a charge. I think it was a charge, not a write-up, it was a charge. And the charge was for him having a cell phone. That, of course, they're not supposed to have cell phones, but he was caught with the cell phone. And on that cell phone, it was a lot of explicit videos and pictures and text messages. So they took, this video and the text messages and the pictures that he was sending to an underage 16-year-old girl. And they were very explicit pictures. So he got that charge, but all the while, he still, after getting that charge, he still got out 17 years, and he didn't do his full sentence. And from what I understand, that when you are convicted, you have to serve at least 85% of your time. So I'm not for sure what happened or what went wrong with the system. I have a little hair sticking up there. And what happened with the system, but he was convicted of a pretty bad crime when he got the 17 or the 20 years. So he gets out in 2020 or it was either 2019 or 2020. He is paroled, and so he should be registered as a sex offender, and I shouldn't say that, as SO, excuse me. And I guess he did that. And I guess in Oklahoma, you have to check in with the sheriff's department every 3 months. That as part of your parole or probation. So he did that every 3 months, checked in. Now, my question is why didn't they have the sheriff, if that's what they do? I know in the state where I'm from, they do probation officers and parole officers. And these parole officers, yes, you do have to check in with them, but then they also do unannounced visits to check on your residents to make sure that you're doing everything that you're supposed to be doing. So they're supposed to be checking up on these SOs. So he then meets Holly Guess, and Holly Guess, and they start dating. And Holly has three children from a previous marriage. Now she, or 3 children, period. It wasn't from a previous marriage. She was married, and the guy that she was married to, I think they had 1 kid together, and but he was a father to all of the children. And they had always agreed that whoever the other person dated, that they wanted a background check done on them, just to be safe and sure that they were okay around the children. And so she meets this guy, Jesse, and her ex-husband, Joe, said to her, um, did you do a background check on this guy? And of course, she said she did, everything checked out, and that they didn't see any. I mean, he wasn't on the registered list where they're supposed to register. And if I'm not mistaken, I know that SOs are not allowed to be around children, and I think that they're not allowed to be within a certain range of a school um, where children are there. And none of these things were being checked upon. Um, I know as a mother, I did not, I was very cautious with my kids, and I didn't have my kids just around anybody. Um, and I did not let them go and spend the night just at anybody's home either. I always made sure that I knew the parents. You're not going to come home and say, "Oh, I met Sally, and can I go to her house?" They always knew the answer, no. Um, I always felt comfortable with the children coming to my house, um, but I was very cautious, and my kids did not go to anyone's home uh, without me checking it out or really knowing the parent for a little while. But just to say, "Oh, let's go have a sleepover at Jane's house." No, we're not doing that because I don't know Jane's mom, I don't know Jane's dad, and we're just not going to do that. So anyway, Holly meets Jesse and they get married, and she moves into his home. And I don't know, what happened. I know that they met a group of these two friends, and the parents of these two friends said that the children would go over all the time. They would go and spend the weekend at Jesse's house with his stepkids, and that was a norm. Um, he in April um, took the lives of everyone in the house, including himself. And I know that he had a court date. It was April 30th. So he had a court date the next day. He was supposed to go to court on this charge that he, I guess, had gotten. And so it was just evident. All the evidence was there. The girl that he had sent the pictures to, I think she was due to testify against him. And so I think that he knew that he was going to go back. He was going to go back to prison, as he should have. But anyway, he would take the lives of the whole family and then turn and unalive himself as well. When the parents of the two girls had reported their daughters missing, they called the sheriff and asked the sheriff, could they go by and see what was going on. And when the sheriff did arrive at the home, they found a gruesome scene. They found the bodies scattered all over the property, and they said a couple of them were as if they were running to get away. Some of them were laid out side by side. They think that, of course, he moved them there and staged everything, I guess, accordingly. And and so that was it. That was that. I don't know how much information the sheriffs gathered, or even if they gathered any information in the home. The parents of the two um, unalived girls did go out to the home, and the families had gone out to the home. The police had, I guess, removed the bodies and said, okay, that's it. The house is, you guys need to clear out the house if you want anything out of there, blah, blah, blah. So the parents would go in and they would see all of this stuff that was evidence They walked in, they seen drug paraphernalia, they seen S toys, they seen uh, what do you, gosh, I it they were well, handcuffs that were wired into the wall. So they were screwed into the wall, and there would be like four, you know, cuffs up above the bedpost. That was there. They had also cuffs at the bottom of the bed, chains. They had stuff in the kitchen that should not have been in a kitchen, and just all of these, edibles and everything, just all over the kitchen. So the police went to the crime scene. They seen all of this, and it was just like, okay, so we'll remove the bodies, but they didn't take any of the evidence. And this is what the parents walked into. Uh, when they walked in, they found all of this. They found pictures of a whole book of pictures, a stack of pictures of different children. They found videotapes of different videotapes, of different children. And so they called the police back out and said, you need to come out and gather this information because, this is what we found. And this monster was all the while sitting and, just, I guess, having his way with all the children there. It was said that he would provide alcohol, I guess, for them. I guess one of the girls had told her friends that he would provide alcohol, so he would give them this alcohol and the drugs and all of that to so that he could probably have his way with them. On one of the doors, it seemed like the door was locked from the outside, so it had holes in the wall where it seemed like somebody was trying to punch to get out of there. It had scratch marks down there where it seemed like somebody was trying to get out of there. And so the families called the police back out and said, you need to come out here and gather some of this information. This is really crucial information. And so the police officer comes out and he says, well, I don't see what the big deal is. I don't see why, what do you want us to do? And so I'm going, okay, what the heck do you mean? What do we want you to do? And that's exactly what the parents said. What do you mean? There's evidence. His daughter was just unalived along with her friend and several other people in this home. And you're telling me, what do I want you to do? I want you to do your job. I want you to investigate and see what's going on. Even though this guy took his life as well as the others and he's no longer here, there could be evidence on those tapes or in those pictures of different victims, of other victims. Was there other victims on the property? Did, these pictures of these other victims, are they too afraid, if they're still here with us, to come forward to tell their story? So I think that even though they felt like it was nothing to investigate because this guy was no longer with us, so they just I've never, first of all, I've never seen a investigation or police say, well, what do you want me to do? They seal that crime scene, they take evidence, they're looking to see if there are any other victims, and they're looking to gather as much as they can so that they can have some type of closure to see what happened. And I mean, common sense would tell you, yes, you go in there and you gather the evidence, you gather the pictures, you gather the videos, you see all of this stuff going on, you take pictures, and I think for the family to have to go in and see the home like that, that would have just been devastating to me, to know that my daughter was here and she might have been trying to get away. The cell phones were taken away. They found a bag of cell phones, so all the cell phones were taken away. So the daughters probably couldn't call their parents, even if they wanted to. That brings me to the mom. Now, I know a lot of people have said, well, did the mom know? Was she aware of what was going on? And I said to myself, as a mother, well, me, and this is my opinion, as a mother, I see, I want to see everything that's going on with my children. I want to be that nosy mom, and I was that nosy mom that, I wanted to see what was going on. There's no way that you're going to tell me that you have, chains and handcuffs and all of that good stuff laying around and in the walls and stuff of your probably your children's bedroom, and you're going to tell me you didn't know anything about it. Because it's like, if I seen this stuff, I'd say, what the hell is going on here? First of all, first of all, I don't think I'd even ask the question. I'd probably just be in such shock, and I'd get me and my children and get out of there, because this is not normal. So I wonder, did she know? Was she a victim herself, and just felt like she couldn't tell anyone? Um, did she participate in it? Did she, so you have all of these questions of what happened to these poor children, and her poor children were probably being essayed on a daily basis, because this guy was a true monster. They would later find text messages in his phone, from the girl that he was texting. And, it was a conversation that he had back and forth, and said, I've gotten a job, I've gotten this house, and I've gotten my life together, and I'm doing great. And I told you I would do it for us. I told you that if you, would be with me, this would be ours. Even while he's married to Holly. And this young lady was a minor that he was wanting to be with, that so, and he had to go to court. I figured he probably knew that he was going to get um, time, and he was going to go back. He was going to finish serving out the sentence that he had, and plus on top of that get more time. So he took the cowardly way out. And unfortunately, he took the cowardly way out. He took himself and all the rest of them with him, because they probably were going to tell what he was doing to them. Those two young ladies were probably going to tell their parents, this is what happened, this is what he did. It's just a sad case all the way around. And it's sad for the parents that are left here to have to grieve. Even Holly's parents and her children's fathers, they're left here to have to grieve and not ever know what happened to their loved ones. I think that, the police department did a poor job. I think that they should have investigated this a little bit more. Um, I am going to try to link the video where the officer is found saying to one of the uh, victim's father, "What do you want me to do about it?" Um, I just think it was handled horribly. And I want to say this to the young parents out there, or even any parent that has young children: please, you know, don't be desperate to have someone in your life and bring your children into that type of environment, and to have them to have to be tortured or essayed. Don't It's unfair to them. We as parents are put here to protect our children, and especially, if you're a single parent and you're the mother, you need to play the role of the father and the mother. And so you need to play that. You've got to be strict on where your kids go. You've got to make sure that you check those people out. And I'm not trying to put any blame on the parents that's here, because they probably did do that, and this stuff probably wasn't there. And I have no doubt in my mind that if they would have seen, this stuff, I know they probably would not have allowed their daughter to, go over there. So no, it's by no means their fault. But to the parents that, just make sure that you know who your kids are hanging out with and what your kids are doing. Make sure that you know their friends, you get to know the parents, and you kind of, you go to their house a few times, and get to know them. Don't just send your kids somewhere. And also, don't just date because you're desperate. There's a lot of cases where the mothers date and, leave their children with the men, and the children, these are 2-year olds, and you just, leave the kids with the man, and you're going off to get your nails done or to work or whatever, because, and you feel like, oh, great, I have a partner. No, no. And especially if your kids are telling you, I don't want to, no, no, don't leave me. That's a sign that something is wrong. So I just, protect your children. That's what God um, blessed us to be parents. That's why He blessed us to be parents, to look out for our children, and to be their voice when they can't speak or they don't have a voice. We need to make sure that we're dating the right people. I'm not saying that I've done everything right as a parent, and no, I haven't. I haven't, but I did make sure that my kids were safe. I was very strict about where they went. I was very strict about, how they stayed out. I was very strict about, I was a very strict and very aware person. And maybe that came from my background. It probably did. But I just think that, when you're dating, don't just bring some random guy around your children. And if you have to, these days it's like, my goodness, you have to do a background check in order to date. Hey, so be it. Especially if you have young children, we just need to be the voice for our children, and we need to be that protector for these precious gifts that God has loaned us. So, just let me leave a comment. Let me know what you all think about this. I am going to leave some pictures posted, and I will try to link that video to this description down below so that you guys can go and watch it. Please comment. Let me know what you guys think. If you've heard of this case, I know that the autopsies came back, and I think I'm going to do a part 2 to this video so that we can, have a discussion about it. But please leave a comment. Let me know what you all think about the Jesse McFadden case. It was a very sad case. And I just, may those children, may the children rest in peace. I know that they're up there looking down on their parents and family. And may the parents have peace. Let's send prayers out to the parents. To the parents of the 2 girls that went over to the house, to Holly's parents, to their grandchildren. Let's pray for the grandparents and the mothers and the fathers that are still living through this horrible tragedy. So until next time, I will see you all, and please leave comments, and also please subscribe. It does not cost anything to subscribe to someone's channel. It just helps us out. And if you could please hit the like button, I'd appreciate it. And thank you to all of the people that do come back, and even the ones that pass by to watch my videos. I appreciate it so much. And until next time, bye.